Okay, so this is a circle back. This was a deck that we built between rounds of a challenge. We played one league. I believe we 4-1'd. I don't recall if we played any more with this. My recollection is that I moved on to a different build of fight rigging trudge that wasn't as good as this one. So if you missed this one, I've also come back with some updates, and I feel like this is one I'm interested in playing in a challenge at some point. So I want to run it through a league and see if I feel like it's ready or not. The idea is you are playing the hideaway cards, the green hideaway cards with trudge. You have both fight rigging and you have one Mosswort Bridge to Sowing Mycospawn for. So it's like you have 9 hideaway cards. They both care about having a lot of power in play. That says whenever at the beginning of combat, put a counter on a creature. Then if you control creature power 7 or better, and that just goes with Trudge, you get to cast a card from the top 5 of your deck. What's really cool about this plan is that Disciple of Freyalise and Turntimber Symbiosis are really good to cast for free. Disciple of Freyalise will let you sack your Trudge and then draw 7 cards and gain 7 life, and then Turntimber Symbiosis will put something good into play. And then you have Mosswort Bridge, which is Hideaway 4, interest tapped. You can play a card for free if you have power 10 or greater. And if you have Mycospawn and Trudge, that's already 9. And then you get to use the Fanatic of Rhonas Trudge mana engine to power out your Mycospawns, power out big K commands, power out your bigger Eldrazi stuff, although you don't have too much top end. I did end up deciding to play 1 copy of Formidable Speaker. It's just kind of good to draw. Like, it can tutor up either Trudge or Mycospawn for your combos. It can also just be like, if you have a ton of mana, you can go Green Sun for it, get Emrakul. And you can also untap Mycospawn with it. Untap Fanatic of Rhonas, untap Ugin's Labyrinth, Eldrazi Temple too. So I think it's a good one of. I had an aura board in its spot before. We're also, the sideboard's also pretty different. We're playing Thought-Knot Seers, bunch of Creeping Corrosions that we weren't playing before. More endurances too, with the uptick in Reanimator. So again, just wanted to play one league to see if I'm feeling this is challenge ready. Case in point, like, this hand is just keepable. Imagine if this was Ulabog. Not super duper. We're just a lot more likely to keep a card on top than we are to Green Sun turn 1. I guess I'm looking for fight rigging probably over anything else. So there's a Trudge. I'll keep a K command, obviously. If I see, okay, don't see a fight rigging. That's okay. I'm getting the Mox Field up to date for y'all too. Give me a second on this. This was the backup deck yesterday too, and I was kind of sad we didn't get to it. Playing against probably Mono Red Belcher, which is not a good matchup. Vast End Scavenger / Bind to Life. What is a 4/4? Oh, the mill 7 put a creature among them. I mean, I just don't think this card is good. Why Lab first turn instead of Disciple? Tap to save you 3 life. So K command X equals 2 on turn 2. Although we may be dead this turn. Okay, probably not. So we've got Thought-Knot Seers and Trinispheres and I guess 1 Ghost Quarter for... and a Collector Ouphe. That'll go a long way. I just feel like I was missing Thought-Knot Seer as kind of like a generic anti-combo card because we feel like we're really good in the fair matchups. So say no to 2 lands. So we found fight rigging. The problem is we only have 1 green source, so we can't go off this turn. I think I'm still gonna cast it and see if this is the plan we want to enable or if we want to go for something else. Somewhat of a high chance we're dead next turn. We'll see. One's gonna do some light reading. We do find an Emrakul, so this hand is a turn 4 Emrakul. We'll see if that's not good enough. Every moment that passes, it's much more likely we live. Dragons, 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 dragons. All right. Can beat these. Might be able to Devour and Emrakul this turn. Yeah, I should have enough mana. So let's Green Sun for 1. Grit a Slumbering Trudge. Go to combat, put a counter on the Trudge. Now we have a creature power 7 or greater. Although I guess maybe I should have put the counter on the Devourer. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't need. I could just put the counter on the Devourer. Shouldn't really be that different. I guess I minus a spawn token. They might even concede to this. Yeah, sorry. I'm too trudge brained. I guess we would have also cast Rumble. Well, not a bad turn 4. Let's see what they got. They must have just drawn the Spelcher. So I guess I can destroy their own land. Then creatures without flying can't block this turn. Can destroy their land and sack the treasure token. Glad this doesn't say target opponent's land. So we'll say yes. We'll look at their deck here. So 4 main decks Orum's Chant. 3 Vessels. And they should just be dead next turn, right? Yeah. All right, so up a game against Belcher, which was really good because we get to bring Ghost Quarter, Trinisphere, Thought-Knot Seer, and Collector Ouphe. So a lot of cards we're bringing in. Probably going to cut the Formidable Speaker. I want to keep in the Mycospawns because they just got a lot better with the Ghost Quarter. Maybe otherwise they'd be cut. Are you supposed to be able to look at the deck as a bug? Yeah, you can. Yeah, of course. I think I'm going to cut the Rumbles. And probably maybe just cut the Devourers and Rumble. I know it's weird to go down in printables, but it's okay. I mean, you still have sub in the deck, and you don't, Ugin's Labyrinth still enters untapped and taps for mana. So this hand is turn 3 Green Sun for Collector Ouphe. I guess it's turn 2 Mycospawn for Ghost Quarter after you Dryad Arbor turn 1. That's probably going to be the play. We could have cut 1 Green Sun. We boarded in Collector Ouphe. I'm not going to cut a Green Sun. That's about why no ice stills. I have no fetch lands. Because we're playing all the MDFCs, we're playing no fetch lands, so that means no ice still. Maybe cut the Mycospawns, but we boarded in Ghost Quarter, so they just get a lot better. I feel pretty good about cutting the Devourers. They play a Talisman this turn. Yeah, so this turn we get to go Mycospawn, Ghost Quarter them. And then next turn we can go Trudge plus Fight Rigging. Possible they've got a Mounted in their deck. But we didn't see 1 game 1, and I don't know that they would have boarded it in against us, yeah. So they play another untapped Witch Enchanter. And they cast a Ritual. They might have a Mounted for game 3. If I mean, no, we'd be dead if we were dead, right? Maybe not. Right, dead on turn 3 through the Stone Rain. I guess we'll see what they did board in. Blood Moon, Blood Moon, Blood Moon. Wear Tear, Wear Tear. 4 Wear Tears. Not so good. Our deck is really weak to Blood Moon. I don't think that's really changing. Yeah, bummer. Gotta keep this, I guess. Wait, can you sideboard in as many basics as you want? No, they just play it the card base. They play the card mounted in their sideboard. Is Red Belcher better than Storm? It's faster, and like one nice thing about it is when you draw your opening hand, you kind of know what you're getting. You know what I mean? Like you're not like really reliant on your reckless impulses and your glimpse finding you more action. It's weaker to like some hate cards. It is stronger. It's like it's better against High Noon, you know. There definitely seems to be like an uptick in the archetype. Maybe we have some experts in the chat that can give feedback on how good they think it is. So they play a Talisman, not too good into my Collector Ouphe. I guess I'll play the Fight Rigging this turn. Bricked pretty bad. I guess I'll take the Fanatic. Although we do just get to like now all of a sudden if they Blood Moon me, I just get to attack for 3, then 4, then 5. So they Wear Tear my Fight Rigging. Then they have a little think. Probably thinking which land to play. No, I think wait, I guess I don't know how they snap Wear Tear, then think about another spell. Yeah, they just play Shadow Skull tapped. Well, this could be an answer to the Collector Ouphe. I drew Ghost Quarter, which is kind of it's kind of a funny draw. I do sort of feel like they might have boarded in a mountain. Could just be good to play just play the 6/6. We could also go Mycospawn for Hideaway land this turn. Could go Mycospawn for Eldrazi Temple this turn. We could go Trudge, just play a 6/6. We could go play 6/6 with 1 stun counter and Ghost Quarter them. I guess that's what I'm gonna do, but I'm a little bit worried that they boarded in the mountain. If you Trudge, they're dead next turn. Yeah, that's the benefit of playing the 6/6. But I think that, you know, I'll still have like my lethal attacker in 2 turns, but I'll also have been able to Ghost Quarter them. And they boarded in the mountain, so my line was bad. We do get to cut them off white mana, and we still have the Ouphe in play. But this was I don't know. I think they mean no some kind of judge. I know what they mean. Listen, I talked about the line. I get it. So they put a Belcher into play. They can't activate it this turn. My opponent says lol GG. I'll say GG. GG lol. I didn't have lethal next turn, but maybe they had no outs. All right, let's keep this. On the draw against a Hedge Maze. So probably Living End or Neoform could also be Simic Ritual. It's kind of the only card. It could be a Brew, right? So I think we're going to keep the Trudge to turn 1 play, and it turns on my Fanatic of Rhonas. Can kick Mycospawn turn 3, maybe. If they're on Living End, it's a little awkward. Hey, guy you're up against. Yep, had no idea. It wasn't lethal. Correct, Storm Scale would have been out. Yeah. Did you have any other removal for the Ouphe? GG's. So Garden of Freyalise, probably Neoform. Red Belcher into Neoform. And they have the combo, because they're thinking. They pitched a Eldarmer's Call and a Summoner's Pact. I don't think I'm gonna try to play. If I was on the play and I was able to cast the and I was able to cast Devourer this turn, then we can play it out on the draw against the turn 2 Neoform. We'll pack it in. We'll bring in the Seers. We'll bring in the Trinispheres. And I do feel like the labs are like maybe more like their deck's slower and are faster and I have less hate. Is it fast? I think it's faster than Red Belcher. So I'm gonna try to look elsewhere besides the Devourers. I think I want to keep the Devourers in and the Emrakuls in. It's a little bit weird. I'm gonna go down. I guess I'm not bringing in Ghost Quarters, so maybe I'm gonna go down Mycospawns and down K commands. I guess I'm gonna cut the Formidable Speaker and play 3 K commands still. I'll play the 4th K command over the 4th Rumble. That's got to be correct. Even when K command is like at its worst, which I think this is the worst matchup for K command. It's still K command, and a lot of times just like K command into Emrakul is pretty good against them. Although they do play a bunch of consigns. This 5-0'd. Invasion of Ikora! Let's go. So it makes a mutagen token, which is an artifact, but puts a counter on something. When a 1 encounter, put it on a creature, that many +1. Interesting. So this is a turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer. Let's keep. Have you ever thought of any mind into matter deck that cheats big creatures, like more interactive, rampy control deck Neoform? Well, for that to be the case, you'd have to mind into matter X equals 8, which is just like, that can't be your plan A. I do kind of want to play bind into matter Timeless Lotus. Why no Ouroboros? It didn't test super well last time. I think Formidable Speaker fits that spot better, despite me being generally pretty critical of Formidable Speaker. So I'm looking for Trinisphere, maybe second Thought-Knot Seer. Probably I would take a green source. I'll take the Trinisphere though, and then I'll put a hand hider up. Oh, for that deck, I see. I don't know. Kind of like Tidewalk here. So they cycle their Generosent. X equals 8 is a lot. I was considering a Simic Badgerable kind of control ramp pile. You're combining way too many archetypes in one. Like, especially if your plan is to cheat your control, your ramp. You also have a bunch of big creatures in your deck. You're just ramp. You know, you can't also be control. Nor does it make sense to like try to also play Atraxa. We've just proven you can be smaller with Badgerable and still go way over the top of everybody else. You don't need to. Once you know how big you can go with Badgerable while still going way over the top, you don't need to like try to go bigger. Does that make sense? I think the Mandrel's here. So probably still Nature's Claim me. So it's not the worst draw because now if they do play an Allosaurus Rider, we can devour the Rider before they have the ability to Neoform. If they drew another Nature's Claim, they drew another Nature's Claim or a Boseiju. A little unlucky, huh? That being said, we're it's not in the worst shape still. Isn't Trinisphere redundant? They have a Nature's Claim in hand, so we wanted to play the second. We also couldn't play anything else. Or just asking, is it redundant? It does not compound. They tapped bad, so they can't draw into consign now. They also didn't draw on their turn, which is a little bit weird. I guess they can't even draw at all because they just died a Thought-Knot Seer. Yeah, they needed to draw to find consign. They needed to find 2 consigns. Now they draw, and now I guess they can find Shoal. All right. So we go to game 3. On the draw for game 3 is going to be difficult, I imagine. So this hand is turn 3 fight rigging with backup fight rigging if we brick. Probably just have to keep this hand. My opponent's on a mull to 6. We're just not too good at mulliganing into turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, nor is that even guaranteed to be fast enough. Like, this hand could possibly beat turn 2 Neoform, but a lot more likely to be good against turn 3. Okay, at least we have a play for next turn now. What are the decisions between Creeping Corrosion and Fade into History? So, the deck is like pretty built around fight rigging. So I'm playing Creeping Corrosion. I've been liking Creeping Corrosion more. I had several games where it was worse than Fade. It's possible that you just like hold your fight rigging until you can pop off when you have it in your deck, but you also want to be able to run it out. It's a little weird. But for the most part, if you're worried about it killing your own stuff, that's the diff. We did have one game with this deck where we didn't kill our own fight rigging, and it was really, really relevant. Sometimes you also just want to be able to play this and then go Creeping Corrosion. So they have the turn 2 without Summoner's Pact, so it's going to be a tough one. Not impossible, though. What does white mana mean? Get short chance, maybe. Warping Whale, not a good sideboard card. Not really. You'd almost always rather play Vexing Bauble if you're trying to like counter Neoform and Living End. It's just 1 mana proactive card instead of 2 mana reactive card. Oh yeah, Eldarmer's call, that's right. They always have the turn 2 Neo. Yeah, I guess so. They're going for a Summoner's Pact. They find a Rider. Maybe they're going to kill me with a Xenagos. I guess they can't put Xenagos into play off of Neoform, but they could go like Galta. Probably dead. Yeah, okay. Well, don't feel too bad about that being a loss. Is it because people are trying out new decks, or is energy truly falling out of the meta? I mean, energy is still, it's still like, if it, we could look at Goldfish, but you know, energy was in like top 5 most played modern decks of all time range like a month ago, 2 months ago, and now it is still the most popular deck, and it's still 19.2%. I think this number will go down a little bit. I think pretty good Thoughtseize. Gonna take my Trudge, and I don't have it to go with my fight rigging. So it's still in like super, like 20% of the meta is like a ridiculous amount, but I do expect that number to fall a little bit as the Goldfish tends to lag behind, and still going to be the most popular deck in the format for the foreseeable future. It feels like every RCQ season has a huge surge to beat Boros, and everyone goes back to playing mid-range decks that they love, and they get wrecked by Boros once it's over. Yeah, maybe. They take a fight rigging, which is interesting because I've got 2 of them, and then they leave me with the 1 drop. Oh, they just knew I was going to draw a Trudge. Well, that makes sense. Maybe they have a Fatal Push. Is Modern healthy? I would say that it's healthy enough. You know, Modern has never been a perfect format, and you know, I think perfect formats in general have never existed, and like it's trying to achieve perfection is maybe less important than achieving good. And I would say Modern is good. I think that it's got problems. I would still make some banlist management decisions if I was in charge, but I'm not in charge, so I'm just trying to enjoy what I can. My opponent mills an Archon and they mill a Persist. We can try to Mycospawn for our Hideaway land next turn. Oh yeah, sorry Canadian Highlander fans. I didn't mean to erase you by saying the perfect format doesn't exist. Alright, so we'll put Disciple of Freyalise under Hideaway. I want a Jitte unbanned so Hammer can make a comeback. Alright, so they Fatal Push a Trudge, so we're not quite gonna have 10 power for the bridge next turn. We'll see if they have a Persist for the Archon. If they do, we'll discard Emrakul and we'll hope to draw a land for Devourer. So they Scour, so they don't have Persist in their hand. They mill a Frog and another Scour, and they drew Undercity Sewers, which means they still don't have Persist. I guess I'm assuming they drew it. I guess it could have been in their hand already, actually. And then they unearth a Frog. Okay. So we're gonna play this Fanatic of Rhonas, which unlocks a lot for us. It unlocks the bridge. It unlocks the Devourer. I think. So we have 6, 10. So I guess we're one short of Emrakul, which is fun. Sometimes you could do a lot of cool stuff, or you could play Emrakul. Hammer can still win on turn 2. Facts. We're also not as weak to Archon because now we can just sack Mycospawn. Another Unearth, maybe? Thoughtseize, okay. So if they have a Persist, it doesn't really matter which they take because they'll just discard the other with Archon. Just a Frog, okay. So drawing a land... Oh, wait, they discard something? They discard an Oculus? Then they unearth Oculus. Fun. So we untap our Trudge. And we can cast Emrakul, or we can cast Disciple of Freyalise. I mean, fine. I'll cast the Emrakul. Okay, I'll fix the deck command if it's wrong. Give me a second. Boy, did I want to draw 6 and gain 6, though. I was trying to think if it was possible to like Emrakul after. It didn't really seem very possible without like a good rumble. I guess next turn we could go Emissary sack Emrakul, draw 13, gain 13. So my opponent is exiling their graveyard for me. Is that correct? I guess that's correct. I feel like the correct move is concede. Like, I'm going to kill all 3 of these creatures and discard your hand. Oh, I get... Okay, I mean, I can... Be fine. Unearth. So this is a Faithless Looting. Okay, so I guess the move is to leave them with... Oh, no, I can go Cycle Unearth. Cycle Unearth. Yeah, I think that's cool to just try to leave the Archon in the yard. But now I can go discard the Archon. And I can go attack with everything. Besides the looting manifest. And I can block, block, block. And then before damage, I can exile their graveyard. And the problem with this is I'm not going to be able to sack my Emrakul to my Disciple of Freyalise because they're going to concede. So we're up a game against Grixis Reanimator. Let's bring in our Endurances. We also have the K commands. I think they're okay playing one spell turn. I don't think I'll play the Trinispheres. I think the Devourers are probably pretty good against them. I think I'm going to cut probably the Formidable Speaker, a Mycospawn, and a Rumble. Okay. Yeah, even a top deck Persist wasn't good enough, but it would have left them with some hope. All right, let's keep this for sure. This could be turn 3 activate bridge. My opponent's on a mulligan to 6 on the play. We also have endurance to Stop them from having a nutty draw. They play a Sewers. They graveyard an Oculus, which is pretty good. We don't draw a green card. I'm going to go ahead and play this and then put an Emrakul underneath it. Let's hope for no consign. All right. Well, I thought we would stop them from having the nuts. They've taught me something about nuts, I guess. So next turn, I'm going to have 7 total power, 8 if you count this Fanatic for my bridge. Do I have enough mana to go Green Sun for a Trudge, activate Oasis, and bridge? Probably not. I think I'm 1 short. Oh, I guess I would also have to tap the bridge first. Okay. So I suppose this is a little awkward. Okay. So we're going to get the Trudge. We're going to cast Fanatic again. Next turn, we can go activate Bridge or cast Endurance or Eternalize Fanatic and then Emrakul them. So we need to dodge another Fatal Push on the Fanatic, maybe. We need to dodge another Consign for my Emrakul. We might need to dodge an Archon. I guess I'll just play around one of these being an Oculus by not blocking. It's probably not going to change the outcome of the game to take 2 more damage here. Famous last words, I suppose. Well, I guess if they flipped an Oculus, then an Emrakul isn't even stabilizing. They persist a Troll. Yeah, maybe Emrakul's just not stabilizing anymore. I drew a K command. Okay. Okay, command. So let me go. I need to play Endurance. I need to play Endurance, and this is going to allow me to bridge. So let's just play Endurance. Target their graveyard. And then let's go. I guess this is technically the bait for K command. Make spawns, exile these. Oh, I'm 1 short. Oh no. Maybe I cast Emrakul. I mean, if they consign, I don't think we're getting out of this anyways. But I just don't think we'll play around second consign anyways. It'll just hold up the K command. So like this way, if they have a Spell Pierce, I can just guarantee they're not going to Spell Pierce because I'm going to wait on the K command. So they have a Psychic Frog, and they did have Spell Pierce. And okay, I didn't. They must have drawn Consign. I don't usually. And they have an Oculus. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I can kill a regular Oculus. I can kill a Manifest token this turn. I can K command this Oculus. Or I could just let it die to the Manifest, I suppose. So I guess let's go attack with this Oculus. It's kind of crazy that we are in this game, by the way. I just want to appreciate that like this game is winnable potentially after their draw. So if I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go play their frog. I'm gonna discard their 2 cards, exile their graveyard. Then I'm gonna exile the frog and make spawns with my K command. And then I'm just kind of stable. Yeah, we could look at the manifest. So we attacked with their Oculus manifest. Yeah, we're just kind of stable on this board. Crazy game. Like remember, this is the game my opponent went turn 1 surveil Oculus in the graveyard, turn 2 unearth the Oculus, consign my endurance ETB. All right, let's keep this. My opponent's on the play. They've got an untapped Watery Grave, maybe a Thoughtseize. A lot of Thoughteizes today. They didn't flip their Oculus Manifest. Yeah, they chose to persist their Troll, which unclear if that was better or not. I played around the flipped Oculus too. My opponent was last playing Boros Energy and they've switched. You don't see that often. They take the K command, which I don't think anybody's too surprised to see that. I'm probably going to leave the Disciple of Freyalise in my hand so that if I draw Fanatic, then I can go hardcast Disciple of Freyalise. I'm gonna play the Trudge turn 1. If we draw Fight Rigging, we can Fight Rigging next turn. Obviously, we're gonna need to draw some action after the Thoughtseize. They play a Snow-Covered Island, which like usually means mill, but Thoughtseize is not usually mill. Let's just draw Fight Rigging. Dang it. Okay, I think I'm gonna play one of these tapped, and then maybe next turn I'll just play the 6/6, but not so good. They started paying cost, and then they did nothing. They also missed their land drop. I think we need to be playing this. Maybe it's better to have also played the Trudge this turn, like Trudge X equals 1. A tank Spell Snare is a little concerning. Yeah, if we drew Fanatic last turn, we're obviously feeling a lot better. Maybe isn't Snow strictly wrong against Break the Ice? Yeah. Unless I guess you could technically feel like baiting your opponent and deciding and Break the Ice is better than playing Island. That you could have that attitude. They discarded Cling to Dust, which is weird because Cling is pretty good right now against my Fanatic. I drew another Fanatic though. Seems like I want to Eternalize. To get around counter magic here. So right now my Emrakul costs 10, and I've got 8 if I put the Emrakul into my hand. So if I draw Emrakul, I can cast Emrakul. Obviously, if I draw Eldrazi Temple, I can as well. So they're finding some lands after missing some lands. They play another Cling to Dust on Kozilek's command to deny top deck Temple or Emrakul. Yeah, would you side in Break the Ice if you saw a snow-covered island? Actually, honestly, one snow-covered island, one swamp. Are you happy if your opponent boarded in Break the Ice? I don't know. Kind of a fun combo. When we did draw the Temple. All right, let me go cast Fanatic of Rhonas. Unbelievable to counter this when they know the rest of my hand. Maybe they have a Fatal Push? I don't even know if that's good. We're going to gain 6, draw 6. Alright, that'll do. Also, like, I could have just eternalized the Fanatic. Maybe they just didn't, like, view the... Oh, I played a Disciple. That's right. I played a Disciple, so they didn't know I had the second one. Also, to the... there was one chatter who was sad we're not playing Life's Legacy anymore, but Disciple of Freyalise, especially when you're cheating into play with your hideaway stuff, just kind of has that effect anyways. I guess I'll block if they attack. They discard Quantum Riddler, and they discard something else. They fly the frog. Surprised to see them discarding Quantum Riddler. I feel like I probably would have discarded almost any other card and then warped it. I guess I tap the Fanatic first. So we'll try to fill up the graveyard for Emrakul here. But they do counter. So now Emrakul costs 11. We have 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, when you can, cast Emrakul the Promised End. Hey Pearl, welcome to the stream. So they have another counter spell. Or should I say Wild Rose Rebellion. They get a basic swamp. I guess I might leave this back to block on the turn that they have. Yeah, probably would chump block after I exile their graveyard. So can I use the Cling to Dust to get them to 0 cards exactly? So I mean, I guess let's just go ahead and put these 2 in the graveyard. We're always going to do this. And now there's 8. So like right now I would be leaving only 2 in the graveyard. So I can go Cling to Dust like on my Trudge. And then if I go Cling to Dust and Trudge, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then they have exactly 3. Yeah. So here you go, opponent. Here is 3 life for you. We also could like target something in their graveyard, right? Target something in their graveyard and then exile in response, but then we would leave them with the Cling to Dust, so I think this is better. Yeah, if we Cling to Dust our own card, we leave them with the Cling to Dust versus 3 life, which I think surely the 3 life is more impactful. Okay, gonna rig the fight after Emrakul. We'll see if they just concede to this. All right. So we're up a game against Dimir Frog. They don't seem to be on any real graveyard shenanigans, so probably no endurance. I think we could just run it back here. Obviously, sideboard is really gamed for the linear matchups. Could you cling targeting a card you are using to pay for escape? Yes, you can. Oh, I guess you can do that. And then when you do that, the cling fizzles. So I guess that was actually the move. Good call. Let's keep this. Is Formidable Speaker there for Rhonas? I mean, that's part of it. Untapping Fanatic of Rhonas is good. It's also a way for you to, if you have a lot of mana, you can green sun for a hideaway card for bridge, or you can just use it to tutor Emrakul. And you're also going to draw it pretty often. But I think like when you're playing a big mana green sun Zenith deck, you want like one payoff card, and I think that's the best one we got. I guess I'm gonna put a Arbor into play here. So if I draw a Lab or Temple, I could Mycospawn maybe. Then I'd probably am happy enough to also just go Trudge plus a Bridge next turn, because then I'll have the Bridge available, assuming they don't deal with my Arbor with a Bowmaster. All right, so let's Hideaway first. I guess I'll just take Fight Rigging over Devourer. Devourer could be better. I think with 2 Trudges, I kind of like the Fight Rigging. So if I draw it has to be an untapped green source, but if I draw an untapped green source, I can cast the Fight Rigging next turn off the bridge. Our deck is really weak to Harbinger and Blood Moon. I think that this is a problem with the deck. And the thing is, you can't really make it much better in your lands, because you have to play all these MDFCs for the deck to function. So I will keep that in mind when making our deck selection for the challenge. I guess I'm going to keep this. I like that this hand gets really good just with any land, really. Also, we have a bridge, so Trudge is kind of okay for Fnatic for Trudge. Thought-Knot for Harbinger. I don't. It doesn't seem like necessarily the best plan against it. We could try to hold up K command. We could try to just get Fanatic down too. Would Dismember help? It certainly wouldn't hurt. I kind of feel like I would rather try to like play like green talismans. The problem is like we're playing Fanatic, so it's kind of tough to be in on green talisman. So it may just be like okay to just be really weak to it. Also, you just kind of look at the format, say how many Harbingers, how many Blood Moons are there. I feel like there aren't that many. So not fatal pushing my Fanatic. They go ahead and they do keep a card on top. So if they play Frog this turn, we're going to make spawns and exile it so that we can have another K command available for a Harbinger, I think. They do play a Darkslick Shores this turn. They have a little think. And they pass the turn. Maybe they have a Fanatic of Rhonas up. I think I'm okay if they consign and just chill. Not doing a lot against my 1/4. Oh, did I say Fanatic? I guess the 2 drops got crossed in my brain. I meant to say Bowmaster. So they end up just passing the turn. After having a think, so like it does seem like they have potentially some things to tap out for on this board. I don't exactly expect this to resolve, although they might not think it's that good. They might be right. They do get to like kill one spawn with the Bowmaster ping. Maybe it was better to exile the Bowman. I think it's okay. They surveil in response. That's interesting. So maybe they have like just one consign. And they're trying to think like. And they keep a card on top. And then they Bowmaster in response. I guess I would not have ever really expected my opponent to tap out. But now they can kill my spawns. I really want to Trudge. I could keep the Temple. I think I'm going to bottom. Drew Temple anyways. So they kept a card on top. Big draw step. We draw another Temple. Yeah, I think I'm just going to tap out for a kicked Mycospawn. I think I'm going to get my basic Forest, too. And I think if they just play a Harbinger next turn, they may not have any black mana, and we may just, like, eventually, like, trudge into Emrakul. In my opinion, keep the MDOC, cast String this turn. Okay, I don't know what that's supposed to be, a String, and then spend next 2 turns casting Turntimber, cast Myco this turn. Yeah, I mean, I agree cast Mycospawn this turn. I like the rest of it got a little lost in translation. I'm a little confused. Like, I mean, we could cast Turntimber next turn, sure. Just kind of depend. I don't think we're supposed to like lock it on casting Turntimber yet, though. It just depends a lot on what they do. Like now, I'm gonna cast Rumble and try to cast Emrakul. So I'm gonna have instant kindred, sorcery, creature, land. So Emrakul is gonna cost 8. If I go, I'm just trying to think if I can like eternalize it. I'm gonna put this Devour into my hand. I'm overthinking this for no reason. Yeah, this seems to be the only way I can cast Emrakul. 6, 7. Wait. Yeah. So they should probably discard their hand to the frog unless they have a consign. If they have a consign, they have like an interesting thought. Do you counter the mind control or do you counter the 13/13? Okay, and then that's also a fine decision, although they probably just didn't have it. Let's get a 4-1 prediction. I'm feeling really good about the deck. Our one loss was to a Neoform opponent who had turn 2 Neoform all 3 games. Very possible we play this in a challenge sometime soon. The deck is also like So sick. I think it's probably the best of the Trudge decks. So this hand can... We have the Devourer. We can go Fanatic into Green Sun for Trudge. I think we'll try it. Did you play last time challenge? I didn't play this version of the challenge. I played the worst version. I didn't play this build. Alright, Boros probably. I'm gonna take the Ugin Slab, I guess. Yeah, I'm playing a Dryad Arbor, but in this spot, I'd much rather save it to get Trudge. Second cat. Third cat. Monkey. Well, I sure did lose the die roll, huh? Let's go ahead and play a Fanatic and pass. I've been liking the matchup too. I mean, I think you're gonna lose these kind of games a lot. So I guess I need to block a Pride. They flip over a K command, which I think would have been a good top deck. They do have a third land. They have Kitty's Blessing, I believe, so they can copy the treasure. Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, I counted correct. They could sack 3 cat tokens to kill my Fanatic, or they could just save them. They do go to kill the Fanatic. I have a good chance I'm just going to Green Sun for another one this turn. Maybe I could get Formidable Speaker. Or I could Eternalize. Yeah, I guess it's pretty painful. I'm just going to not think about that. They get a Surveil. They put a Guide of Souls in their graveyard. That kind of is a sign that they don't have a lot going on, because if they have like another creature, they're like going to go Guide plus creature here every single time. But if they don't, then they're going to graveyard looking for something better. They put a Thraben Charm in the graveyard. They don't have an attack. Awesome. So now... Let's see. So I've got 10 mana. I guess let's rumble and see if we can cast Emrakul. So I'll have 4 types in the yard after this. 9 mana. Well, I can cast Emrakul. Then they concede. Yeah, I have just kind of been liking this matchup, which is why we're not really sideboarding for it. That being said, we were pretty lucky that it just didn't have a follow-up that turn. Chomping Changeling? Yeah, maybe Chomping Changeling is good. The Green Sun for Blood Moon. That's actually a pretty good call. Yeah, we'll bring it in for game 3 if that ends up... We end up going to game 3. I'm going to keep this. All the draw against Boros. Pretty good hand. No one ever would. Yeah, I cut it for Formidable Speaker, which I just think it's better green settable top end in this deck. We had one in the first draft. Listen, I'm like the number 1 Ouroboros. I haven't felt like Thought-Knot Seer has been good against I'm gonna exile the guide, I think. I don't think Thought-Knot Seer has been good against Boros like this whole MH2 format though. Like it's been like 2 years. Thought-Knot Seer has not been good against Boros the whole time. I don't think it's just I just don't think it's gonna start being good against them now. All right, so I'm gonna take 3. They flip a Johnny, which we could eat. We could eat the Ajani next turn, right? 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I know I need to do something about the microphone, guys. I know. Thank you for your patience. I think we should devour the Ajani here. Interesting that they plus. I think it's probably a good play. When you cast Devour, also, it's not like the biggest deal, but like Fight Rigging is now like a live top deck. So they tanked, played Seasoned Pyromancer. We'll see what they were thinking about doing. They'll discard the other 2 cards they had. 2 Flages. We drew another K command, so I mean, I guess I'm just gonna pass with K command up. Nah, let's try to find a Fight Rigging. They can't cast Flage next turn. Should be okay to try to do this. And then we'll still have K command up anyways. Can you turn 2 Emrakul this deck? Yeah. You can go turn 1 Trudge, turn 2 Fight Rigging off of a Labyrinth. Okay, we did find one. So let's go bottom, 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 and then we'll keep the Turntimber Symbiosis as a possible imprint. We still have K command for 1 up, but we'll hit an Emrakul instead. This deck is pretty dang good. It was good the first time. It's kind of like an unbelievable. It's kind of unbelievable that we've played so little of this deck for how like insanely cool it is and how good it's tested. All right, so we'll go discharge and then okay. Let's see. So our one loss this league was to a Neoform gamer who had turned 2 Neoform all 3 games. Can't feel too bad about that. The deck does seem kind of scary weak to Blood Moon and Harbinger. Might just be okay. I think I'm interested in playing this in a challenge soon. If we do, I'll try to address Neoform maybe a bit better and Blood Moon a bit better. But like beyond that, like the deck just seems kind of broken. I don't know. Like it just does feel like it's going way over the top of everything else and is also doing this kind of stuff really fast. Oh, I was gonna raid Dino, but it looks like Dino's out for today. Oh, let's raid Hitachi. It's been a little while since I've seen Hitachi streaming. Okay.